Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Doctor Who Season 10, Episode 10. It's called The Eaters of Light. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So this was another pretty standalone episode. There obviously was a
Yeah,
little bit at the
definitely.
end that sort of lead into what the season's doing, the last couple of episodes. But this was an episode set in Aberdeen, in Scotland, uh, around what century? I forget now.
Don't know, Romans,
Yeah, Roman time. Yeah, Ninth Legion.
fifth,
All
fifth
that.
century. I don't know. I'm guessing. Stab in the dark.
Yeah, but Belle was excited to try and prove the Doctor wrong about the Legion, the Ninth Legion, and they hear and they're looking for where the army disappeared to. And of course, there's shenanigans involved. There's a monster and all sorts, and a portal to another dimension, and they get that. A monster killed the army. That's what happened. Basically
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So that was the episode. What did you think of Eaters of Light?
I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I did the last week's standalone one.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I didn't love it, but I definitely liked it more than last week's. Certainly. Um, I mean, admittedly, this was an opportunity for several Scottish jokes, which were hit and miss.
Don't know. Appreciated every single one of them.
But nah, so that I think it suffered maybe a little bit for me because Belle was separated from the others for so long.
Yeah,
There wasn't as much of her with the Doctor and Nardole. Nardole though had a couple of great lines actually. When he says, "Yeah, I'm not Italian at all, but I do. I mean, spag bol."
yeah. No, I mean, I get what you're saying about Bill being
Mm.
separate, but I liked it. I like that it showed that she's grown and become almost a leader of her own. She was part of that group and she
Oh,
was
oh.
taking charge and not panicking. And it shows that she's grown over the season, so she's not entirely dependent on the Doctor, even though she's like, yeah, he's come in and she's aware that he's there somewhere, but she's not panicking that he's not there right now.
I was actually thinking throughout the episode, man, they saved a lot of money on this one. They basically just wrote a plot that meant they could shoot in just the countryside for the majority of the episode.
Yeah, you typically get one of them every season.
Obviously we get the monster effects budget, like that had to be paid for, but
Which, to be
otherwise
fair, they kind of hid the monster quite a lot.
they did. It was kind of a weird design. It was kind of velociraptor but with tentacle things. um,
Yeah, yeah.
hard to quite pinpoint how to describe it, but
I
that's as
quite like
close
the
as I
look
think I'm
of it.
getting.
I thought it looked pretty cool.
I thought it was okay. It was kind of. I felt like the monster itself wasn't all that interesting. I liked the whole. So they've got this entrance, this gateway to the other world that the monster comes through. And the idea that the tribe, the Celtic tribe, would send a soldier in there to fight it and hold it back, wild because it was only open when the light hits it once every, was it 70 years, something like that.
60 or 70, yeah.
Yeah. But basically, the soldier goes in, and because when the portal's open in there, time moves differently. A few seconds in there's like days outside.
Yeah.
Because the Doctor goes in 2 days past, even though he's only been in there for a few seconds. So the idea that the soldier holding it off actually is really effective, because in the real world, that's like, if he's in there 5 minutes fighting it, that'll be decades.
Yeah.
Decades outside. I thought that was a fun idea. I wasn't sure exactly how that rule worked though later on in the episode, because at one point there's a ton of them in there. Like Belle's there, like Ninth Legion are there, everyone's in there. The portal opens, and I was like, wait, we've been in here for like a minute now. So is there years passing
I
outside?
didn't think it was when the portal was
Yeah.
open. It's, when they were actually in the portal
Right. Okay.
and that effect went on. I think that's when time was going funny for them, because that's we saw the Doctor do that earlier. When he puts his face into it and you
Yeah.
see through, that's when time
Okay.
goes
That's
funny,
fair.
I think.
That's fair. Um, but yeah. So there was this running theme in the episode that crows used to speak. Crows used to say a lot of things.
Yeah.
And they basically set up that the reason why they say caca or whatever is that they're saying the name Car, which is the leader of this tribe, this Celtic tribe, that ultimately sacrifices herself with the Ninth Legion to hold this monster back. Uh, it's okay, a little bit on the nose for me.
Yeah, I mean, I had no problem with it.
Um, but no, like sometimes Doctor Who does these cheesy little like winks to the camera.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I liked it because they had a joke about it earlier in the episode, and then it came up again. So it was like, oh, hey, look.
oh
Rather
yeah,
than it was just there from if it had just been random, I think I'd have much more of a problem
oh
with it.
yeah, they set it up absolutely. It's just a little bit. It's one of these little goofier elements. Um, uh, no, I thought some of the I liked the setting. I thought it was an interesting. I very rarely think of going to like Celtic time periods in TV shows. I feel like I've not seen it very often, so I kind of appreciated the
Mm,
setting.
yeah, I know
Uh,
what you mean. It's kind of very underdone, isn't it?
yeah, if nothing else. I wasn't as big in the monster design so much. Some of the running around the woods, kind of hiding from it. That got a little bit kind of typical. Oh, we run away from a monster, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, where it was working for me a little bit more was when it was the Doctor with the Celtic tribe and that kind of thing, and try to solve how to do this. And even and Doctor going to sacrifice himself and be like, oh, I'll fight it because I live a lot longer than you pesky humans do, so I'm going to take it on for however many years.
Yeah. Well, I like that. That was basically, Doctor Who at its core, isn't it? That's what he always does. He stands there and fights the monsters.
Yeah, although I had to criticise him, and I'm glad Bill uh, made a point. Now, she didn't quite say this exactly, but I think this is where she was coming from. Is like, well, yeah, that's all good and well, but if you're fighting this for the rest of your life, then you're not going to be around to save us from every other bloody threat that seems to come up every other week.
No, but that's kind of who he is. He can't just ignore one just in case
Hmm.
of another thing might come up. I mean, if he used that every time, how often would he just ignore something? And goes, well, what if it got me?
Oh, sure, but this is different though, because this is actually going to take the rest of his life, as opposed to just most of
Yeah.
the crisis he fights, he deals with the crisis, and then it's back to
No,
looking for the next
that's
crisis
fair.
or back to whatever. So this ultimately had to be something that someone stopped him from. I wouldn't have put it past Doctor Who to then give us like a weird time jump and say that he's been fighting monsters for the last
I
ten
mean,
thousand
it's
years.
done it before.
It has done
I
it
mean,
before.
Matt Smith's final episode, I think it was. I mean, he was on that planet for a long time.
Yeah, yeah,
Skipped forward a good 1,000 odd years.
yeah. And sometimes it can feel quite cheap because I don't remember liking it that much when they did it at that time. Uh,
Mm.
Depending on how they handle it, it can feel a little bit like, oh, I'm just supposed to accept that it's been X amount of time. I don't really feel it. Not really.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
But no, no, it was a fun debate for him to have. But ultimately, he couldn't make that choice, uh, and he had to be stopped. So we have the Ninth Legion proudly going in. I do like that they don't gloss over the fact that this army did come up to just butcher lots of like innocent farmers and whatever else. Bill does point it out. I'd almost argue they should have even went a little bit deeper with it. Maybe that could have maybe enhanced the episode a bit more, as if they really dealt with the conflict there between the Ninth Legion and the the tribe.
I think if we'd arrived earlier, I'd agree. But
Hmm.
as it was kind of like, nah, shit's too serious to worry about this right now.
I get that. It feels kind of like I feel like they just go over it too easily. Like they start working together to deal with the monsters, and it's like, they did just murder like their family members and
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, they kind of do go over it a bit where they talk, like, oh, they can communicate now. So that's essentially the reason why things get better is communication,
Yeah, yeah,
which is, it's been a bit of a theme this season.
yeah.
The idea of communicating can just solve the problems. And that's just the idea that they can communicate. It doesn't even have to be that they say anything in particular, just that they can understand each other is what makes them realize that they're all kind of the same.
No, because yeah, all of a sudden they're more like other human beings as opposed to just this faceless
Yeah,
personality.
exactly.
You know, so uh, Yeah, so let's talk about the ending then. So they get back in the ship, and Missy's just kind of sitting around, and we find out that he's basically shifted her prison to the TARDIS. She can't leave the TARDIS without anyone say so. She can't. The controls have all been locked off from her. She can't tinker with things, and it's definitely leading into because the next time on, it kind of shows the next episode. It seems to be that she's getting like almost like a test run as being a doctor, and in a weird way.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the next time. I wasn't entirely sure if it was this is a real scenario or if it was more of just a simulation.
I
I,
never
wa-
got
I was a
I never got simulation vibes.
okay. I was a little bit just from the next time, but
I got supervised but actual thing.
no, that's probably what it is.
Yeah. But I think that's interesting. I like the idea of them trying to see if she can do what the Doctor does,
Yeah.
and see how that goes. And obviously, it teased a lot of other things for the next episode. But no, I'm kind of liking her, and it makes me wish we'd actually gotten more of it. But her like acting as if, oh no, I'm being good, and like because the way she just kind of like responds, like when Bill and Nardole walk in and are kind of shocked that she's there, she doesn't like laugh at them or be like, or calm down in a kind of a sarcastic way. She at least is acting genuine.
No, you're right. And obviously, next episode is or at least the end of next episode into the following one is kind of the point then where we have to see, is she just good, and we don't get any more of this. Is it a pretense or isn't it? Or is she going to switch back to being evil? That's all going to come in these next two episodes. So, like you say, maybe there could have been a bit more of that in the season in general.
I think there should have been. But I have enjoyed the few scenes we've had of it, which here especially, because even her and the Doctor have that moment where they talk about being friends, and hope, just at the end of the episode, and it ends it on this kind of like, yeah, he wants to believe her, he wants to help, he wants to do this, but he can't just assume that it's going to work. He's sort of keeping himself at a distance almost.
Yeah, she's got to earn the trust again.
Yeah. So, yeah. There you go. That's this week's Doctor Who. I thought it was an okay episode. Definitely much better than last week.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it more than you did as well.
Yeah, seems like you did. I didn't dislike it though. I just, it was kind of, there was some good ideas in mixed with sort of typical Doctor Who happenings.
Yeah.
And a monster design that I wasn't particularly keen on.
No, that's fair. I quite liked it, but I wish I'd seen more of it instead. Yeah, I mean, I get that they were hiding it with the CG budget and they were just little bits here and there.
I think that would have been better if I think the problem I have in though is maybe less so the design. If you want to hide it, that's fine. If you're doing it for suspense reasons, like but I don't really feel like the scenes in the woods of it, like stalking and killing, were actually all that suspenseful, which is maybe
No,
why
they weren't.
which I think is why ultimately I think it's just an okay episode, because the horror of the monster didn't really come across.
Yeah, I get that.
It was all I was being told about how deadly it was, and I never really felt it.
Makes sense.
So, but no, not bad certainly. So that is this week's Doctor Who. Let us know what you think of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Head over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV if you want to support the channel. Check out some of the bonuses over there. But otherwise, guys, that is us. Get us on Twitter at mail_fuzz. Keep watching TV, and have you got any vanilla?